So, you want to create a table of contents in Word? In this brief tutorial, we will guide you through the process in just a few steps. Let's dive in. Here I'm in Microsoft Word, and I would like to include a table of contents in this document. I would like to include all these different section headers that I have throughout my document and the associated page number, but I don't have to do any of that manually. We don't have time for that. Go to the point where you would like to insert your table of contents and click on it. Then, on the top tabs, let's click on the option titled References. Then, over on the left-hand side, we have an option for Table of Contents. Let's click on this. Here we have a few different options, but let's go with Automatic Table 1. Click on that. This opens up a prompt saying, Creating a table of contents? Start by applying a heading style from the Styles gallery to the selected text. This basically means that we need to tell Word what items we would like to include in our table of contents. Let's click on OK. Here I have my first header that says Practice 1. I would like this to be the first item in my table of contents. So let's highlight this text. Then up on the top tabs, go over to the option titled Home, and right in the center, we have a section for styles. Let's click on this, and we have all these different styles. Let's select Heading 1. I'll click on that, and that applies the Heading 1 style to that text. That looks good. Now let's go back up to our table of contents. When you click on it, you have the option that says Update Table. Let's click on that and look at that. It pulls this heading into our table of contents, and it also shows the associated page number over on the right-hand side. Now, of course, a table of contents isn't really that useful with just one item. So, let's go through the document and find some more headers. Right here, I'd like this to be another item in my table of contents. I'll highlight this text, and let's apply heading number 1, and then go through the rest of your document and apply the heading 1 style to all of your other sections in your document that you would like to have appear as part of your table of contents. Click into your table of contents. And once again, we have to update the table. When you click on it, let's select this option that says Update Table. When I click on that, here we have the option to update page numbers only or update the entire table. Let's update the entire table, click on OK. And there we now have all the additional items added with their page numbers. A few things to be aware of when you're working with a table of contents. If your page numbers change, you'll have to update the table. As an example, let's go down here, and instead of having this on the first page, I'd rather have it start on the second page. Let's go up to Insert, and let's insert a page break. So now, Practice 1 starts on the second page, but here it refers to page number 1 in the table of contents. I'll select the table of contents. Click Update Table. I'll select Update Page Numbers Only. And when I click on OK, it now updates to reflect that it's on page number 2. With the table of contents, you can edit and update text directly in line. For example, I can decide to edit and make this a number instead of a word. But when doing this, you should note that the heading here is still in Word. So anytime you update the table, it will change back to this. What you can do instead is update the heading from right here, and whenever you go back to update the table, it will have to reflect the changes. But if you change the title here, instead of just saying contents, why don't we call this the table of contents? If you update the table, it does not affect the title of the table. It's a good practice always to update your table of contents anytime you make changes to your document. So far, we've just been using the default table of contents, but you can also completely customize it. To do that, click into your table of contents, and then we get this overlay. Let's click on this drop down, and at the very bottom, we have the option to remove the table of contents. And now the table of contents and all that work is gone. But let's take a look at how you can customize it. On the top tabs, let's click on References. Let's click on Table of Contents. At the very bottom, we also have the option to insert a custom table of contents. This opens up a dialog that gives us even more control over our table of contents. Here, you can decide whether you want to show page numbers or no page numbers, where you want to align those page numbers, and how you would like to separate them from your different titles. Here, you could choose a few different options. You can decide to remove the hyperlink or not hyperlink. Lets you navigate to a chapter by just clicking on the page you want to go to from the table of contents. You could also decide how many levels you would like to show in your table of contents. In this example, we've just been using the style heading 1, and we've just included that as part of our table of contents. But you could also apply a style heading 2 or heading 3, and you could show additional levels in your table of contents. For now, let's go with the default and click OK. And there we now have a table of contents again. One thing to call out, if you insert a custom table of contents, if you click into it, you won't get that overlay that lets you update the table. So, to update your table of contents, if it's custom, go up to References, and here you have the option to update the table. By using styles, we were able to insert an automated table of contents, but they also have lots of other benefits. Let's say, for example, you want to update how all of your different headings look. Up on top, I'll click on the Home tab, and here I see my different styles. I can right-click on this and click on Modify. Let's say, for example, I like to make it a little bit larger. Over here, I'll select the font size, and let's go with 22, then click on OK, and that updates the style here. I will click on the font color and change it to automatic. You can also make the text bold, italic, or underlined. I will click on OK. Now, if I scroll down a little bit more, you'll see it has updated the style throughout the entire document. Another thing I like, you can also expand and collapse all of your different chapters. Here, for example, let's say I want to collapse this chapter. I can click on this icon, and that collapses it. That way, it's really easy to get through your document. Lastly, this is one of my favorites. On top, let's click on the View tab. Then we could turn on something called the navigation pane. And here you see all the different headings used throughout your document. And the beautiful thing, if you want to quickly navigate to any one of these headings, simply click on it, and that'll bring you directly to that point in your document. So you get so much power beyond just a table of contents by using styles. Along with using the navigation pane to navigate through your document, if we go right back up to the top where we have our table of contents, you can hold down the Control button and then click on any one of the items in this table of contents. And that'll bring you to that specific point in your document. And there you have it. Now your readers won't get lost in your document anymore. If this video helped you stay organized, please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.